How are you?
Writing yourself.
I'm good. I'm good. It's been a week, but I'm good. These weeks seem to be weaking. I don't know what's going on.
And going by fast.
I'm sure you would say that. No. You're right though. You're right. And we are quickly approaching my favorite season, which is fall. I feel like I like it's like I think it's school. It reminds me of like back to school, and so you get all new stuff. So I want new. I want to move. I want to reorganize. I want to change. I want to. It's all new. So I'm excited about that. But then I think about, well, where you gonna have time to do all of that? So then I get bummed out, like, well, maybe I won't be able to. Maybe I'll just go buy me a new pen and be happy and keep it moving. But how are you otherwise? Everything good?
Well, yeah, just busy,
Yeah.
but
I
it is what it is.
we got a life. We got to do what we got to do, right? All right, all right. Well, I do have a hard stop today at about 10:15ish. So we won't have the meeting after the meeting. Um,
Okay.
I have to go teach a line dance. I got my line dance shirt on. I got to go teach a line dance class with a, a a group of the Divine Nine who's having a retreat today, and so duty calls. Okay, so let's get this party started. Well, welcome to our Saturday morning tea, where we discuss health information, news, education, certification tips, the newness of fall, how life is life and weeks are passing, and all things the revenue cycle at large. We also talk entrepreneurship as well. As you come in, don't forget to hit the thumbs up or like button. I am Clarice Warner. I am the girl with the pearls, the founder and senior education director of the Professional Reimbursement Network, LLC, where coding education is key. And PRN is a healthcare compliance consultancy located in Cincinnati, Ohio, that specializes in revenue cycle and regulatory compliance in education. Now, let me ask you, do you know what it takes to be a certified marketable medical coder? Do you? Well, before I introduce my co host, let me share with you information on a free, yes, free 99 email course on the 5 steps to become a certified marketable medical coder. Are you interested in medical coding, but not sure where to start and scared of wasting time and resources? Let me help you with the right steps to become a certified marketable medical coder. Learn more at bit.ly/5stepscoder. Hey, all right. So, if you were interested in getting more information about the 5 steps to become a certified marketable medical coder, then check out the video description for the link. So, joining me today is my partner in success. I love that line. My co host, Mr. Jesse, the registered trademark. Put some respect on his name, the coding nurse. Sir, introduce yourself and tell the folks all about you.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Jesse. I live in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I've been in healthcare for a very long time as a nurse. In 2014, I started in risk adjustment. And during the pandemic in 2020, I created a company called the Cody Nurse LLC, where I help nurses and other people with a clinical background transition into the wonderful world of HIM.
Hmm. And how is all that going?
It's coming along. Um, it seems like I don't know. No, I think I'm moving into advocacy because I have to explain. Like I've had a couple of consultations this week, and it's the same questions all the time. People don't know where to start. They don't know they have no clue. This is,
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. And then you have the even bigger thing is like the none people don't have they don't even know that any of this exists. It's like a whole foreign world to them. Like, what? I'm like, yeah, how do you think the business works? When they think healthcare, they only think clinical. They only think doctors, nurses, therapists, those um people. But it's a whole machine that operates in tandem with every healthcare encounter. So yeah, it's a whole thing.
It
And you
is.
too can be a part of it. But you got to work at it. It doesn't come easy. You think it take a lot for them doctors? Don't get me started, because Lord, they'll probably be calling. Don't be talking about the doctors. Don't be talking about the physicians. All right. Um, let's see who's with us this morning. Good morning to Nika. Good morning to our on the street correspondent, Crafty Coder. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Carolyn. Good morning. Yes, good morning. All right, all right. So before we jump in, let me remind you, speaking of advocacy, it's about to go all the way down. But before we jump in, let me remind you that you can join in and add to the conversation. Don't be shy. Your opinion matters and is welcome to hear. So just use the chat um, and chat to your heart's content. If you have a question for us, please type Q first, so we know it is a question, directed to us, and we don't miss it. So, um, for those of you who are just joining us or watching the replay today, we are talking about my friends over at AHIMA, and we're talking specifically about a mission statement makeover, putting members first. But first, we have church announcements. Oh, and these church announcements. Yeah, look at God. I couldn't even get the music going, and all I saw was the fan. Oh my God. I love it. I love it. Yes. I'm the clapper now, I forgot. Oh, goodness. All right, all right. Somebody else, I recently heard somebody talking about church organs and how it just moves the room. I said, it's not just me. It's not just me. Something about that organ. Y'all can have the keyboard, y'all can have whatever, but it's something about that organ and seeing them hitting all them things on the ground. I don't know what all those things are that they be stepping on, but all of that stuff, yeah, it's a whole different thing going on. Okay, let me turn this down. So today, I just want to remind folks real quick, billers can go to jail. That's all I got to say. Billers, you can go to jail. So much so that the Attorney General charges a Medicaid biller for $1.2 million in false liquid nutrition claims. So this happened on August 14th in Denver. Their Attorney General, his name is Phil Weiser, he announced that he filed fraud and theft charges against a woman in an alleged Medicaid fraud scheme that cost taxpayers over $1.2 million in losses. Natasha Sawyer, who was 44, of Denver, is accused of submitting false claims to the state of $1.2 million when she worked as a Medicaid biller for Element Medical Supply, a durable medical equipment company. Yes, I said she was the biller who is now charged with fraud and theft. Oh, but the other part that got me was not only was it fraud, Oh, what was the other thing? And I said, oh, this what we doing? Wait a minute, let me go to the case. Um, cybercrime. That's what it was. Because she used computers to bill electronically, they slapped her with a cybercrime as well. I said, wow. So it's cybercrime to commit theft of $1 million or more. Wow. So she had 2 counts, the Medicaid fraud, and they call it fraud and waste, false claim. And the second count was cybercrime. And when I tell you they had witnesses, it's a whole list of endorsed the witness list. It's mass people on this list. Some I believe are even family members. So I wonder if there was a whistleblower involved. I don't know. But yeah, it was going down. And this all occurred between May 1st, 2020 and March 31st, 2021 is when it says she knowingly, unlawfully, feloniously, and knowingly assessed a computer network or computer system or any part thereof to commit theft, and the loss, damage, value of services or thing of value taken or cost of restoration or repair was $1 million or more. That was the cybercrime. The other one was with intent to defraud, made a claim or caused a claim to be made, knowing the claim contained material information that is false in whole or in part by commission or omission, where the aggregate amount of payments illegally claimed or received is $1 million or more. Yeah, so just wanted to let y'all know. Billers, they can come for you too. We've already talked about coders, but anybody in that revenue cycle who submits the claim, they can come for you as well. Just want to give that as a
I just want to know, why did they leave her race out in her document?
You saw that too, didn't you? I don't know. I don't know if that's a.
Because they got everything else.
They got everything else. I don't know if that's a Denver thing. I don't know. A Colorado thing. I don't know. I have no idea.
Like you said, they had people's whole addresses up there.
Everything. Everything. I don't know. But yeah. So just be mindful, y'all, when y'all doing. And it made me kind of look for, and I don't see a specific not the free hotel. She said not the free hotel. They like, wow. Made me look for a biller's code of ethics. I know we have our coding code of ethics. And actually, AHIMA has their code of ethics. AAPC has one too. And so I don't know if like all the stuff that AAPC does everything fall under that umbrella for their code of ethics? I wasn't sure, but I didn't see a specific like billing one. And then I seen a couple other folks just kind of, how they like to slap everything together, coding and billing.
Well, I have my CPB, and that is through AAPC.
Mm-hmm.
So I have never known for there to be a separate billing code of ethics. It's just the AAPC code of ethics.
Interesting. Okay. Well, I was wondering about that, but yeah, I just wanted to put y'all up on game that they looking at everything. So be mindful. All right. Mr. Jesse, did you have any additional church announcements for the good of the service?
Well, speaking of fraud,
Uh-oh.
so I left my job 2 weeks ago. So that weekend was our little thing. So then on Monday, I was just busy. So this week, because I had gotten some emails from the Ensemble IT department, So this week I was like, I gotta really get this stuff out of here. So I started. So I finally opened up the box they sent me. They only sent one shipping label, so I had to contact them because I never used their monitors, so I had to have them send me two more labels.
Hmm.
So when the person emailed me the labels, they were like, "Oh, FYI, another there's a letter from FedEx, in reference to the equipment." That's all that they said. But so I scheduled my pickup. The people came before the first FedEx person came to pick up the three boxes before the other person re-delivered the letter because I was upstairs, I didn't hear the door, so they put a little tag. When I get the letter, it basically was saying that um I have failed to return the equipment, and it's basically um is getting to where it's like tantamount to theft. And they were, if I didn't return it by the 26th, they would possibly involve local law enforcement. So first of all, this is how God works. Because I'm telling you, if I had got that letter before I sent that back, they would have got there. FedEx would have came to my house August 26th. So
Thank God.
exactly. It's only because of him. Because when I tell you, so I wrote, so in my response was I emailed the person back to let them know that I sent it with the tracking numbers, and I said first I said the wording in this letter is laughable. I said y'all are a joke. Who wants to keep Dell products when I got a good
Why
10,000
why are shots being fired everywhere?
when on the daily? I touch $10,000 worth of Apple products. Y'all don't get the fuck out of my face over some Dell products.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Those are my church announcements.
Oh goodness.
Dell.
Oh, he said over some deal products.
I ain't
Yeah,
even know if they're gonna cheap monitor. I buy good stuff.
we buy the good, good, don't we? We get the good, good. Ooh, you have tickled me. Okay. All right. Oh, I love it. I love it. We starting off with a bang. I love it. Anyway, let the tea spilling begin. So today we're going to talk about a proposal. And let me first say that I am a delegate for AHIMA for this. I'm a delegate for Ohio, and AHIMA delegate for OHIMA, which is the Ohio Health Information Management Association. And I can't wait to get to Salt Lake City in October, where we have our annual delegates meeting. When I tell you it's gonna go down, we already have some stuff that we are hashing out. It went down last year when they slid in that 40% information. And when I tell you it was not presented to us, we knew nothing about it. It was kind of like a little um bullet point on the agenda. By the way, KM is doing da 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 da. Everybody was like, "Well, what?" And then it was like, "Okay, so meeting adjourned." I was like, "Wait a minute, hold up." But this year, I think it's going to be even more interesting as all of these developments are taking place. So I'm saying all that to say that in the conversations that have been had regarding the proposal to AHIMA for a new mission statement, we the delegates ain't seen nothing. And so I'm assuming because there is a whole process on how to submit proposals, and there's like you have to do it within a certain time frame. But I believe once you do it within that time frame, then it is then presented to the delegates at the delegates meeting. Um, we don't, they have to do all that they do to massage it, fluff it, whatever it is that they do before it comes to us. And so um it's going to be interesting, and it's going to even be more interesting because one of the authors of the proposal, um who by the way were all past AHIMA presidents, is now a delegate, and she will be at the delegates meeting. So it's gonna go all the way down. But anyway, so let's talk about this. So right now, AHIMA's current mission is empowering people to impact health. That is what their mission currently says. And I'm trying to remember when did they change? I don't remember when they changed, but and they've recently released their strategic plan. So shots have been fired at the strategic plan as well. Um, so AHIMA is a professional organization, and as a professional organization, um, there are certain parameters that you have to follow. There are certain things that you have to do, um, because you are a 501c6 organization. And because of that, um, they're supposed to focus on their members. And we've been talking for some weeks now about how things just feel different, with AHIMA, and how they are addressing their members, how um some of the changes are impacting the members, and how the members are, quite frankly, kind of either pushed to the side or silent as it relates to some of the changes. Now, I will say, as a result of our new CEO, there have been some work to try to um, correct those errors. I think what I've seen, some conversations I've been privy to, um, and I mean, he hasn't even been in his job a year yet. So, but I think he's making some strides. But he got a mountain on his back that he has to tackle, from the damage that has been done. And I think he understands and sees and appreciates it. So I'm will also be interested to hear his take as it relates to the proposal of changing the mission statement. So, what they want to change the mission statement to is AHIMA is a professional membership organization whose mission is to benefit its members, advocate for their professional interests and needs, and promote the advancement of the profession and the integrity of health information, which I actually like. I think it hits kind of all of the things. Um, they also kind of, and Mr. Jesse, you can jump in whenever you like. And I'm going to actually play a little clip from the video because I was over here cackling when I was hearing these shots being fired, from this interview with two of the past presidents that are authored the proposal. But they're just saying how things are shifting in their experience, and some of them have been members, ooh, since the 70s, and how it seems that the membership part of it and doing for the membership and not advocating for healthcare as a whole. That's kind of not our role. But advocating for the members seems to have gotten lost. And oftentimes organizations are moving and shaking based on what their mission statement is. And so again, if their mission statement doesn't address their members or doesn't mention their members, then maybe it is kind of a behind a back thought. It's not something that's top of mind. So I don't know. There's also in the description of the video, I linked the LinkedIn. Let me bring that up. I linked in the LinkedIn article that is this the one? I think so. Yeah. LinkedIn article that Dr. Marita Johns wrote, and she broke down. Let me see if I'm sharing that. Yeah, she broke down the responsibilities of a 501c6 nonprofit professional organ association, which is what AHIMA is. It's a professional association. And so she compares mission statements because she says to her, reading our current mission statement, it looks like a social advocacy group, or a trade association, or no, a social advocacy group versus a trade or professional organization. And then Rose Dunn is the other person who was actually interviewed in this YouTube video that I saw, who went even further. Like, we're far from a trade association. Anybody can join a trade association. We have specific requirements, regulations. We're skilled. Da 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 da. She gives a whole laundry list to really tout AHIMA as the professional organization. So it says the social advocacy groups advocate or lobby for a certain social or political cause, and they're classified under 501c4s. The trade or professional association improves conditions for their members, and they're classified under 501c6s. And the very first thing that popped out to me, you know, in my head, I was saying, sometimes you got to pop out on them.
Mhm.
And this is what they have done. But look at that, the American Nurse Association, and how, they advocate for their nurses. I think every other line said nurses, 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 nurses. They're no joke. And which is probably why everybody in the world seems to be battling them. But they go toe to toe. They go to bat for their members. Um and so she made this whole comparison um of the differences between the two, and how we're not. Go ahead. Were you saying
What
something?
I will give her is this post was great
Wasn't it?
because it was very, very clear what the the whole mission statement was. Just, I mean, the whole, and it's a very quick read, but it is very, very informative. And that side by side comparison of an advocacy group versus a trade or professional organization is spot on. Like, that's like, you just really see it for what it is.
Mm-hmm.
But and getting back to, like what you had said earlier about um AHIMA and them trying getting away from their original purpose. I'm also a little, excuse me. I'll see how it goes, because when you have a CEO of a trade organization that's not in the trade, and then I know that you have hired a nurse in your leadership position, again, who was not in the trade or profession. I'm just wondering, like, where is this all leading?
And I think, um, yes, I think some of that was lightweight addressed. Here, let me stop sharing this. Lightweight addressed in the video. So, health information professionals, I think that's what the HIP stands for, CAS, did an interview with Dr. Johns and Rose Dunn, and to get their take on on their proposal. Dr. Johns kind of went through her LinkedIn article. She, talked all about the history, the components, and the differences between the organizations. She did all of that. Rose Dunn, I don't know. She was on one this day, and she prefaced it with, I don't usually hold back, da 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 da. But a lot of the things that she was saying was part of. So I want to play a couple of excerpts of what she said. I hope y'all can hear this. Wait, I didn't even think about that. I think we can. We'll see. Let me know if you can. No?
No.
Okay, hold on. Let me stop. Try it again. Make sure I hit. Mhm. Oh, hold on. Hold on. We're gonna do it this way. Mm. Okay. Okay. Mhm.
With you. Outstanding job of setting the stage. Our association's history is as a professional association, and professional association like ours, such as Health Information Management, provides a service that requires specialized education. It requires independent judgment. It requires substantial expertise. And our professionals embrace those principles. We adhere to a code of conduct, and we self-regulate ourselves. And that's what makes us different from a trade association that just about anyone can join. Now, Marita shared the proposed mission statement, and I want to share that we're not entirely unique with this proposal. Canada, just up the street, and Australia, HIM associations have very similar missions that focus on the members. We believe, in terms of how to meet those needs, I think we need to set the stage here. We actually believe members have felt disenfranchised by AHIMA due to actions taken or lack of action that may have disillusioned the members and actually may have disrespected the professional credentials. And That situation, coupled with an operational issue, has actually resulted in the loss of, I think it's 7,000 members over the past several years, according to the CEO.
It's much higher than 7,000. We've lost we've lost over 40% of our membership since 2017. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, that's
significant.
That's a shame. And so the outcome, of course, is dues have declined. We believe per AHIMA employee expenses have increased somewhat substantially, which leaves less resources to take care of the members. And so we can recognize why individuals feel disenfranchised. So how do we meet those members' needs or our profession's needs? Well, I'm going to just say it, and everyone knows that I usually don't hold things back. I'm uncertain that the recently released strategic plan will do it. It does not have that North Star that Marita identified. So I think the first thing we need to do is reverse the vicious cycle. The mission we're proposing is a roadmap. If AHIMA's leadership, staff, and the board commit to, and not just talk the talk, but actually walk the walk, to this proposed mission, they may, just may, be able to stem the loss, recover some of those members, and recruit new members. And with new and additional members paying dues, benefiting from up-to-date educational offerings,
Another shot.
finding support from new AHIMA-generated practice guides and templates and tools to do their job, filling positions with young careerists grown from state-of-the-art formal education programs, and our members' careers progressing from AHIMA's in-your-face advocacy of the HIM profession's role in today's healthcare industry. The association, its members, and those we all serve will eventually achieve the vision that the association has been touting as its mission, possibly, and that is that empowering people to impact health. I kind of classify it as a simple field of dreams. If our association focuses on its members, if we build an environment for our members to flourish, if we are seen as a vital industry resource, the members will join and the association will prosper. That's how I see it.
I will give that an amen from the amen corner. I don't know if I'm allowed to do.
Lord. Okay, wait a minute. And then there was another. So she even referenced, Mr. Jesse, I don't know if you want to comment on anything she said thus far.
I like what she said. She just could have cut to the chase a lot sooner.
I love my own straightforward, to the point person that I have with me. You know, she gotta build up and twist and turn and all of the things. Wait a minute.
Disappointing that out of an association,
Oh wait, here. This is
other than the few webcasts and a few emails, I find it disappointing that out of an association of 80,000 members, that we could not find a credentialed member of all of our leaders to serve as the leader of our association. That was one of the tipping points. The second tipping point was the sudden change in CEU requirements, which was totally inappropriate and has been partially corrected.
Very good. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Who, Marita, anything to add?
Yeah, I'll go ahead, and I want to express, my tipping points as well, which have been going on for, a few years. And the one thing, and I've expressed this view on the recent town hall that AHIMA had, so it's well known. But it's not only the lack of a CEO as the credentialed CEO as the head of the organization, it's also the lack of credentialed members in the C-suite. And so the organization has operated for several years with either no representation of the professional member in the C-suite who are making those decisions, except for a period of time when they had a very capable person in the C-suite, but that was only one among many. And so you have lots of the different advisory groups to the CEO, international, national advisory groups, but where is the credentialed members who are in key positions of, advocacy, membership, professional practice, and operating in the C-suite? And when you look at the organization, when it was really, really highly flourishing, what you saw in that C-suite was a very good combination of many members or many of the vice presidents who were credentialed members working with other domain experts, say in marketing or in membership, that were working together. And that made an absolutely dynamic team. But the other thing that's happened, Shannon, is that without those professional members, certified HIM professionals, what else have we lost? We have lost norms, and we have lost traditions, and we have lost history. And so every time somebody new comes in, where is the history? Where is the grounding? And that history is really, really essential. When I've talked to people about, how did we make such a flourishing organization where we focused on members? For those of the audience who are old enough, they will remember team talks. Team talks, where the president and the vice president and the CEO went to the regions, and we brought people together, helping us develop that strategic plan, giving us input on ideas that the board might have had, and saying, oh, you're off base on this, or wow, you don't understand where we're coming from here. We don't understand our condition here. And wherever it was, in Wyoming or Montana or California or wherever we were on these team talks. And man, did that create a community of trust, where we were all operating from what? The same paragraph. So those are the tipping points that have happened throughout, and it's particularly, and I would say in the last 5 or 6 years, that really happened. And I am with Rose. When we go in and we say to healthcare organizations, we can leave, our members can leave, that they should be CIOs or chief privacy officers or chiefs of whatever. And we can't even be chiefs in our own organization and be a CEO. What does that say? And right now, when you look at the AHIMA Executive Leadership webpage, there's one credentialed member up there now. Maybe there's another one I think is coming who has been appointed. But still, it's not enough.
Yeah, there are.
All right. So
That was a Golden Girl drive-by.
I cannot with you. But they was shooting them shots, weren't they? Them shots was fire. Oh wow. So what do y'all think? What do y'all think AHIMA should consider this particular mission statement, or y'all think the mission statement should stay the way it is, or what are your thoughts on that? Yes, she did call out the unqualified. Did she? Uh,
You know, I don't have a problem with anything with either one of the ladies, but my only question is it going to be received
by the members or by the leadership?
by the leadership? Because I'm sure the members will be here for it.
They messing with you. The Golden Girl drive by. I cannot with you. I cannot.
I think because the members have been frustrated, and I've been a member since 2013, and we've definitely been talking just on the Saturday morning tea about how AHIMA has just not really done the industry any favors. Like, they don't talk about offshoring. They don't talk about how hard it is for their members who are credentialed to get jobs. Like,
Yes.
how can you say that you're the beacon of the industry, but your people get certified and can't get employed?
Yeah. It's gonna be real interesting. Um, One of the things that she said though kind of made me like, okay, um, and I would be interested to see how that progresses. Because yes, I do believe history is great. I believe the knowledge of what has happened in the past and all of that is vital and essential to steering the course for the future. But all the past stuff wasn't wasn't great either. There were a lot of gatekeeping that occurred in that past. There was a lot of overlook or um exclusion, if you will, in some of that past. And so if the goal is to move forward, because I do, the one thing I can say and do appreciate in what has happened with AHIMA, at least in the past, I'll say decade, is there has been a lot of inclusion um throughout the leadership teams, um that I had never seen prior to that, ever, 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 ever. um and so I appreciated that. And there had been some inclusion with credentialed people, so they weren't all uh not AHIMA credentialed individuals. I do agree that I've heard a lot of people say that, like, how could they have not found a person who is AHIMA credentialed to be the CEO is beyond me. I don't know. And maybe folks just didn't. I don't know. I don't know if people didn't apply or didn't feel that they could do. I don't know. But that's very telling. Because how can you advocate for something you don't know, for real, that you haven't lived? Um yeah. So
This
which
is about. Go
which
ahead.
I feel is why the advocacy efforts for the profession is the way it is, because they don't know. They're not like us. They don't know. They don't have those lived experiences that we have. They don't have any of that to be able to say, this is what we do. You don't know what we do. You know what you heard somebody tell you what they could do, but you don't know. You don't know the skill level. You don't know what it takes to get to that particular skill level. You can't even speak to that. And I'm not just speaking CEO, I'm speaking, leadership overall who are not credentialed. So how can you fight for us? How can you vouch for us if you don't know? Go ahead.
I see a new movement, MAGA 2.0, make
I
AHIMA
felt that in
great
my
again.
spirit. I didn't want to say it, but I felt that in my spirit. Like, so is this what it was back in the day? Let's bring it. It didn't feel good. It didn't feel right. That's why I was like, you got to be careful and mindful of what's being said and not being said, and how that history button can impact the future. I don't know. I don't know. But I do think that mission statement is the bomb. And I do
Oh
think
yeah.
the mission AHIMA needs to definitely consider a revamp on that mission statement. I'm just cautiously optimistic on the operationalizing it. How about
So
that?
I'm like you. Well, I'm no. I don't see them changing it, because if they adopted that, you have to be accountable. You actually have to do something, because
Hmm.
people are going to hold you to it. And if they're fundamentally not really willing to re-steer the boat.
But I feel like, so I think there's more to this. I feel like this is step one. We gonna ask you to change this mission statement so that you can be member focused and member driven and da 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 da. But if you don't, we going after your designation, that 501 C6. We going after that.
Now I could see that.
I can see that as next. Like, oh, this is what you held yourself out for, but this is not what you're doing. And so I see that as a spade in the hand. Like, okay, play with us. We coming with you. We coming to the table for a conversation and let's talk. But yeah, we may have a couple of trick bags in our pockets. So I don't know. I can't wait to, if y'all could get to Salt Lake City, or at the bare minimum. And let me say this, because I think this is equally important. If you are a HEMA member and you feel some kind of way about these conversations regarding this mission statement, either maybe you feel like it does what it does and it is what it is, and I like it and I want it to stay, or you see some validity in the proposal of changing it, reach out to your component association. Your membership dollars fund your component association that you're connected to. Either it's the state you live in, the state you work in, whatever state you chose. Reach out to them and let them know, particularly your delegates, because we, the delegates, will vote. We vote on your behalf. So you need to let your delegate know what you feel. How do you feel about this? Should we all be gung ho, ready to fight and include, or, whatever? It's your organization. Again, one way or the other. It's you done put your money, your dollars, put it to work. Let these folks know how you feel so that they can vote accordingly. They don't I personally never want to vote in a silo. I always ask, what do y'all think about this? I need to hear from y'all, because we may not be thinking the same thing. And if I don't hear from you, I'm assuming based on this core group I got, because there's several of us there. I think we got 4 or 5 delegates. We gonna talk, and then we gonna listen to y'all. We want to hear what y'all say. If we don't hear anything, we already done had our conversation and we moving. So make sure that you notify your delegates. Reach out to them. Send them an email. Hey, I feel like da 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 da, or we the members of so and so and so, or whatever. However you want to address it. But let the folks know so that they can actually vote for you and advocate for you in this kind of situation. Same thing with the 40%. Y'all was blowing us up, and we heard y'all loud and clear, and that's why we kept fighting. So,
I'm,
a little PSA.
I told you that I have been side eyeing AHIMA ever since they bought actors, because in my mind, I see what's coming, and it's not going to be good for the members because they're about to become the redheaded stepchild in their own house.
And that's gonna be if they don't flip this. If they don't flip this, and maybe that's some of the foresight. Like, wait a minute, hold up, and maybe that's something else. The other unsaid. Like, well, wait a minute. What does that mean? I always ask that question. So what does that mean for the members? And the best example of how all of this foolishness is around CDI. That is the best example. You see it. You have the job descriptions, you have the job announcements, must be an RN, da 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 da. You have all of these things. The leaders of these departments primarily are RNs. You don't see, I mean, there's a couple of unicorns out there where you have HIM professionals running CDI, but for the most part,
And here's the kick. I told you that I was talking to the new data analytics director, who is a nurse. And she was talking about how when she took her CHDA, there was um, coding on it, and was, as she said it was a lot of coding. But it makes sense because it's an HIM organization.
right.
But I bought the CHDA study guide. There's more coding in that study guide than in the than in the study guide for the CDIP.
Wow.
How is that?
How is that? How is that? And something else, I want to say Rose Dunn said, it may be later on in her thing, because there was something else she said about something about coding was missing. And I want to, it must be in the strategic plan. But she was like, so what are you saying? She was like, coding is a very vital function within our organization and the members that we have. So what you want everybody to go to the other association? Like she said that in the video. And I was like, oh, oh.
Because that's what's happening. People are most new people don't even mention AHIMA. Everybody talks about AAPC. Everybody. And the only thing that AHIMA has in its favor is they're one of the 4 cooperating parties. If AAPC could ever unseat them with that, AHIMA's done.
Mm.
They're done.
Mm. Interesting. So what do y'all think? Do you think there should be additional things added to the mission statement, or is it good as it's proposed?
I think
And go ahead.
I think it's good as proposed. I just really think the organization needs to get back to grassroots advocacy because, I mean, medical coding literally has changed my life. And at the core, that's what it was.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Wait, she didn't flip the script. Maybe it's time for a new association by the members for the members.
And, but Carolyn, that maybe is a possibility, but that's very hard to do. And that's only because what about you still have to get either AHIMA or AAPC credentials. Like to do that, we would have to come up with a whole new credential, and it was just that's the long game.
Yeah, it's dividing the pie.
Right. And I just think that they need to get back to grassroots advocacy, and they need to get back to protection of the profession.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can't, and it's just like I mean, and the other Merida made a very good point. How can you go to these organizations and say that the people in your organizations can be leaders in their organization, but not in their own?
Mm-hmm.
Because
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you, like the whole doctor and low key nurse thing. I see it. Because I have been a nurse. And I mean, for all intents and then like had they had the American Nurses Association, I think they just after the pandemic allowed LPNs to join. Like is that level of exclusion?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like you're not like us,
Mm-hmm.
and we don't really care. That's about they're coming into this house and totally going to redecorate it and put you out of it.
And put you out your own house. And I feel like it's that's historic. I think back like when I started, and we didn't have CDI, but it all started with like utilization review, because we were being trained on utilization review. We can do those same type of reviews, we can do all of that, and it was like, oh no, this is for clinical people. This is, and like, we are clinical people, we're just a different type of clinical person, but we are clinical. And so that was a big fight in hospitals, and I felt like I felt like the advocacy for it wasn't enough back then. And so ultimately they got it. They got they got quality assurance, they got all of that. Rarely do you see anybody from health information in those roles. Those were held out for the uh burnt out nurse, or I can't do the work at the bedside anymore, or I need to transit. Those roles were specifically held out for them, and we were like, well, wait a minute, we were the ones that brought these roles and taught these roles and da 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 da, and it was like you couldn't even get it.
Because you have people who don't really realize that yes, the name has changed, but the work has not. Their
Correct.
coders have always done this.
Correct.
It was it wasn't until nurses decided, oh, I can just move over and do this and bring five of my girlfriends.
It's on and popping, and they
Mhm.
come stumping and moving and pushing until they push you out, and that's what they did. They pushed them out.
But then they say, oh, well, you have to have a clinical background, but you don't know not one such a coding guideline because it doesn't matter that you could work in the ICU for 17 years. But if you don't know how coding sequencing works and how it affects your money, they don't teach you that in nursing school. It has nothing to do with nursing.
Mm-mm. It doesn't.
And like I've said repeatedly, CDI is something that everybody has to be trained for because CDI requires coding knowledge and clinical knowledge. Nobody comes to the table with everything.
Correct.
Traditionally, I can
Correct.
say I did, but traditionally it doesn't happen. So,
Correct.
so that means that the clinical staff needs to be trained on the coding, and you can have coding staff that needs to be trained on the clinical. They
And
need
it
to.
should always been, at least my understanding of how it was supposed to be when it came to in play, was a multidisciplinary team that worked together, providing that back and forth, providing that information. Everybody went in their own little corners, like, you ain't getting this, you ain't getting and look where we are. Look where we are.
Because what they have done to save that their position is they've kind of low key disassociated CDI from coding, trying to say that it's a higher level review.
Correct.
No, it's
Yeah.
all but
But they didn't have anybody rah-rahing for their team. And so that's how they got away with it, or are getting away with it, because there is no
yeah,
advocacy.
that's
There's
right.
nobody speaking for what they can do. And you by yourself fighting, the machine is not, it's futile. So, so it's gonna be interesting. I can't wait to Salt Lake City.
It's gonna be gray hair everywhere.
They all coming out. They like, forget, come on, y'all. Everybody come out. We all coming out. You gonna see people we ain't seen in decades coming out.
Uh-huh.
Coming out. But it's gonna be funny because how they gonna, well, I can just see some of the activities. How they gonna perform in some of them activities. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. I don't know, y'all. I feel like, this is gonna be interesting to see how this is rolling out, and what the end result will be. And even if the proposal passes and because she threw some shots at a whole bunch of stuff, with how things should look, or or how they should operationalize, a new mission statement. And I don't know if you heard them, but yeah, it made me side eye a couple of things. Like, really? Is that it? Is that what we doing? Okay. All right. So more to come on all of these things that happen in the health information profession streets. How about that?
This is definitely juicy, and I know we got to wrap up. But all I know, and you and I both know, and everybody sitting here listening, we know that the powers that be at AHIMA have an agenda.
Mm-hmm.
They have a long range plan. They're just not showing their hand.
Mm-hmm.
And
I think they released, so can't you? I think everybody can see the strategic plan now, I believe.
No, I understand that, but I'm talking about when you leaving coding out of it, like it's subtle.
No, I just want to make sure y'all see it. Have a read that strategic plan if you get an opportunity to read it. That's what I'm saying. I think they made it public. It's public now. But go ahead.
But what is the meaning behind the strategic plan? That's what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And the only way this is really going to happen is the members are going to have to force their hand. Period. Mm-hmm. Because their long range plan doesn't really include us. I can tell you that.
Mm-hmm. That's why it's important to peep that plan. See what it says. What's missing? What's there and what's not there? What's being said and what's not being said? And connect the dots. Yeah. Wow. Well, more to come. When I hear more things, I'll definitely let you all know. Particularly our tea sippers. They do. I think they've showed their hands by the actions performed or lack thereof. Mm-hmm. And I mean, don't get me wrong. I love advocacy. I love some of the agenda items that they have for the advocacy. And even, I get what because they even talked about like some of these things that they're doing. It's like, that's not really for us. Like, it impacts us, but why are we fighting so hard for this stuff? Like, that's social, or that's somebody else's baby. We got our own baby to raise and fight for. And so it's like, she's absolutely correct. And so, like I said, I love that. But where is that same energy? I don't feel the same energy as far as advocacy for the membership as I do, and the members, and as I do for, some of these social issues, or some of the even like privacy, high tech, some of the things that we go to bat for, even in Congress. Like, I don't see that same energy. Like, they have a whole Washington, D.C. AHIMA department. There's a whole staff there that does all of that kind of advocacy stuff. I don't see that same work being placed in this. And I don't know if it's because, quote unquote, what the mission says currently doesn't involve that. I don't know. Interesting though. It was interesting to hear their take and how they dissected that and broke it up and their proposal. So more to come, more to come, more to come. All right, all right. So with that being said, let me talk about our tea sip. I gotta put tea sippers on here somewhere. I'm gonna have to redo it. Okay. So are you thirsty for fresh perspectives on the healthcare revenue cycle? Well, by becoming one of the tea sippers, you'll join a community of sharp minds who savor the complexities of the healthcare revenue cycle. So why sip alone when you can steep in knowledge together? So come on, let's spill the tea on industry insights. And here's what you can expect as a valued member of the Tea Sippers: exclusive healthcare insights, of course, gain access to in depth articles, webinars, and resources covering the latest healthcare trends, compliance updates, and revenue cycle best practices. You can get early access to be the first to receive expert insights of and guides, ensuring you stay ahead in the ever evolving healthcare industry. Personalized support, enjoy direct access to our team of experts for guidance on medical coding, compliance issues, and revenue cycle management. Again, we're here to answer your questions and support your professional growth, as well as my favorite part, the community connection. So join a private community of healthcare professionals where you can network, share experiences, and collaborate on finding solutions to common challenges. So, by supporting us, you're not only advancing your healthcare knowledge and career, but also contributing to the success of Professional Reimbursement Network, LLC, which is a resource that empowers healthcare professionals like you to thrive in their roles, goals, and dreams. So, thank you for considering becoming a member of the Tea Sippers. Yes, you can check out the link in the description of the video, or go to patreon.com/Clarice Warner, the girl with the pearls. Your support means the world to us, and we look forward to helping you excel in the world of health information and healthcare revenue cycle. Don't that sound like a commercial?
Yeah.
I need to make the commercial. I need to stop playing. Okay. All right, y'all. Well, it is the top of the hour and quickly reaching my 10:15 deadline. Thank you all again for joining the Saturday morning tea or checking out the replay. Was the tea spilled today? Put the teacups in the chat. Was the tea spilled today? If this information was valuable for you, help us to share this message with others by sharing the video and subscribing to the channel. Be sure to follow us for more information on all things health information, compliance, revenue cycle, and medical coding. And as you leave out, don't forget to hit the thumbs up or like button. Also, check out the Coding Nurse channel on YouTube. Mr. Jesse, do you have any final thoughts for the good of the order?
No, once again, it was a great session.
Cool, cool, cool. All right, all right. Well, again, this has been great. Thank you all for joining. There will be no meeting after the meeting today. We will reconvene next week. So remember, oh, everybody's putting their teacups in. Remember, be safe, be kind, and don't wish for it, work for it. Until next time, take care, have a great weekend, and we will talk real soon. Bye-bye.